Networking is one of the most important things that will help you scale your business, meaning you're not going to grow if you don't put yourself out there. So, like I mentioned earlier, becoming the voice of authority and being on those podcasts and writing those articles and doing all those things. But while you're doing all those things, actually getting out at events and showing your face. There's all kinds of different places that you can get involved. There's all kinds of different groups today. There's more groups out there, more now than there ever were before. Finding really good Facebook groups that you can engage with online so you can do online networking through these groups that where your brand, where your personas are hanging out. Find out what groups they're engaging with, that they're part of. Where does your ideal client network? Well, you should be finding those places and networking in the same groups because that is where you're going to get business. The other thing is those groups that you're networking in are going to be one of your number one form of referral. You're going to get more referrals from these groups that you're part of than any place else because now you've created a friend network. They're just not people that kind of know you. They all know you pretty well, where they're out telling their friends about your company. Hey, I know this realtor. She's really great. She's in one of my networking groups. We become really great friends, and she really knows her stuff about home building, or she really knows her stuff about St. Pete, and I think she can really help you buy the home of your dreams. So I think you should really reach out to her. These types of connections, number one, they can be lifelong connections. You can go from having maybe just a couple referrals from your close-knit friends and family to having hundreds of referrals if you start networking within these groups. So networking will take your business from here to here. I'm a believer in it. I do it for my own personal business all the time. And whenever I'm in these groups, whenever I'm putting myself out there, I see results. Some of my favorite top strategies for building these types of connections is, first of all, having a podcast just like this. You can have a podcast and invite the people who you want to do business with or who you want to work with on your podcast. That's number one. Number two, getting involved in the community is a great way to do this. What do you love to do? What are you most passionate about? And getting involved in that. Do you have a certain hobby that you love to do that's outside of work? And when you do that hobby, try to bring your business into that hobby somewhat. Like, how can you find a way to give back, but yet doing something fun that you love to do at the same time? That's going to help you create those connections. And you're having a blast doing it. So super fun. The other thing is engaging in social media groups. Those are a great way. And also most of the social media groups all have live networking groups, sponsorships. Be there as a sponsor. Believe it or not, yes, they cost money, but to me, if you're able to sponsor, whether it be a charity, whether it be maybe it's that sporting event or something that you're really involved in, or whether it be one of these groups that you're networking in, they all have different functions where they're looking for people to sponsor. And when you have that opportunity to sponsor, your brand's going to be front and center in front of everyone. And also when you're doing that sponsor, always ask for a speaking opportunity. When you can get that speaking opportunity, you can actually get in front of your audience and deliver your message, and therefore have even more people who know, like, and trust you. For some of my biggest clients, for our home builders and developers, and this example is finding the top selling real estate agents, the ones that are really making a difference, the ones that are really selling a lot of homes. And instead of focusing on tens of thousands of realtors, is to put your focus in on, it could be a handful. It could be anywhere from 10 to maybe 100, maybe 500 at the most. So finding out who they are and creating events around that particular group, of being helpful to them And I find that when you do events where you're giving them tools to help them be more successful, they will then take those tools and use them to sell your community. They'll use those tools to help you sell your homes. And who has the most buyers out there right now? Realtors do. Realtors on your side of it, again, find out where your ideal clients are, where are they hanging out, whether maybe it's certain charities that you can be part of, whatever that is, and find something or a way that you can give back to that community that's going to be helpful to them, that people are seeing that you're doing that. And it's not just about you selling your real estate, it's about whatever that cause is and how deeply you can be involved and how much you can make a difference within that community. Those are where I see big changes being made, and where you're going to get the most impact and the most sales is by doing something like that, something that's truly going to stand out. A lot of these realtor influencer events that we did for some of my master plan communities and home builders, realtors to this day, they're still using their headshots from these events. They're still using their videos that we made of them selling the community. And to this day, I'm having realtors that come up to me saying, Kelly, thank you for having that event, because I actually sold 5 homes from that video that you made for me for that community. Actually, some of these events that I might have had could have been a couple years ago, and some of these realtors are still selling from the content that we gave them from that event. So to me, that's really super successful. And I think that if you can go right to the source of where the largest amount of your business is coming to and get really creative on how you can give back to those individuals, that's where it's going to make a difference. That's where it's going to make sales.